is Patrick and welcome to some more Tesla news. It's been a while. Cybertruck has been released. It's been delivered to the first people, Tesla employees, friends, whatever, about 22 of them at the end of November. And this weekend, people are actually getting their invites. And now this is for a foundation series, The Beast, for $120,000 or $100,000 for the dual motor. And from what I remember, the dual motor was supposed to be $50,000. So you're looking at literally double the price to get the dual motor from 4 years ago. Now they are including about 20 grand worth of, it's a 20 grand markup. It's $20 worth of accessories, full self-driving, which is $12,000. And then all the little things that you can get on the website are included. So all the little bins and stuff like that. And then you get a cool little laser engraved thing on the back, this three-headed dog, Cerberus, on the beast mode. So you're looking at paying, $1,600 a month for the dual motor, or well, $2,000 a month for the beast. That's a lot of money. People are like, wait, that's more than, my house payment. What do you guys think? Is it worth it to get it a few months early to pay an extra 20 grand? I mean, if you're gonna get full self-driving, it's not a horrible deal. If you weren't planning on getting full self-driving, it's probably a horrible deal. And it looks like it's the dual motors, people that live in California and Texas right now that are really getting the invites. I did see one person that was invited from Utah, but when he originally placed the order, he had lived in Texas. He did update his address, though, so it's interesting that he still got the invite to configure a Foundation Series Cybertruck. I wonder if Tesla's going to check that when they're doing deliveries. Also, they brought back the $50,000 fine if you sell it in the first year. Now, they will buy it back minus the mileage if you're in a situation where you lose your job or something, you can't afford it, or you just come to the realization that that's a lot of money. I've got a couple reservations for Cybertrucks. I live in Wyoming. I have not gotten the email invite. I don't know if I could swing it. Was planning on getting the tri-motor, I think it was $69,000 version, which is now the $100,000 version. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I can get the dual motor or the tri-motor. The dual motor is almost identical in every way, except for it can go further and it has better, more payload because it's not carrying around the extra weight of the motor. The advantages of beast mode, more horsepower and 0 to 60 about a second and a half faster. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Unless they're hiding something else about the beast mode that really makes it worth $20,000 more. Also, the tires that come with this Foundation series are the all-terrain tires that are kind of the off-roading ones. So the range drops down to, I think it was around 314 miles of range. So you're getting a lot less range for a lot more money. What do you guys think? This is interesting. I mean, Tesla's got a limited production capacity right now because they're ramping up. So it does make sense for them to try and get as much out of people that want it early as possible, which is kind of sad because the entire point when Elon originally announced it, I believe when I was there, he was saying that they weren't going to do a Foundation series or one for the very first, people. Well, they might have been planning on doing the dual motor first and then a single motor. And the single motor was supposed to be $40,000. And then, Ford came out with the Lightning, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to have a $40,000 Lightning. And they made like 800 of them or something. It wasn't very many. And then they immediately jacked the price up to $45,000, $50,000, $55,000, $60,000 on that Pro model that you could only get as a fleet. At my workplace, we actually did get two of the, well, we got 4 of those. 2 of them with the upgraded power output, so it could do the 240 volt AC power out, and they ended up being around $50,000. We ordered them over a year ago, and they just came in last month. And then we got some extended range ones that were about $60,000, and they just came in. We haven't picked them up yet. Interest rates went sky high since 4 years ago, and even a year ago. So payments they're really high. And then, you know, Tesla changing the pricing. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to not be able to afford the Cybertruck. They're saying there's over 2 million reservations. Mine personally was within minutes of the announcement. And according to an online calculator, I'm about 30,000th in line. And it's estimated June for when I could potentially take delivery based on what they think the current output capacity is of the Gigafactory in Texas. I don't think they're going by those numbers at all, because there's people with later reservations that have already got an invite. They are going to people in Texas and California, people near the factory, near service centers. I'm very far from a service center. I don't expect to take delivery anytime soon. So I've got some time. I enjoy my Lightning. And boy, it's a tough call, because the Lightning now, since the specs all changed, it's about the same range. It's about the same cost as the dual motor. It's about the same power, about the same towing. It's only a 1,000-pound difference on the towing that the Cybertruck can do more. The frunk on the Lightning is actually much bigger, and it's a real workspace. Like, we use them all the time to power our power tools, set our laptop down, put together things. We do fixed wireless internet. So we get everything ready and we work on it inside the front or inside the cab. They've got a really nice fold-down bench for your laptop, and you got your AC power to power everything, and USB-C. The CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, he's praised Tesla and Elon, which is pretty interesting. And they are moving to the NACS, the North America Charging Standard. I'm actually at a dealership here that just put in a DC fast charger. It's charging at 25 kilowatts. I think it's rated for up to 60. I don't know if it's because it's cold, because it is. It's about 20 degrees outside. It's up to 37 kilowatts now. So I think this one can go up to 60 or maybe 50. We'll see what it tops out at here, hopefully. I may need to come back with a lower state of charge. I'm about half battery full. Anyways, yeah, so one of the big things with the Cybertruck is the 48-volt, low-volt infrastructure and Ethernet. So they have, instead of running individual wires to every single component within the car and this huge wiring harness and a bunch of copper, increasing the voltage means they don't have to have as thick of a gauge of cable, and they don't have to have as many of them. So that's like the first car that can do this. The audio industry has been talking about moving to 48-volt for years, because it's like 4 times the voltage of the 12-volt system. So they sent manuals like how to make a 48-volt vehicle, and they sent it to all the automotive industry CEOs. And Jim Farley on X posted that he got it. It's true, and he says it aligns with what they've been working on, that on their next generation electric vehicles. Apparently, there's a second generation Lightning. I don't know if they're going to even call it a Lightning, but it's built from the ground up to be electric, versus the Lightning, which is basically a regular F-150 that's been retrofitted, the frame and everything, to become electric. And it's cool because if anybody knows how to drive a regular F-150, they can get into a Lightning, and it's pretty much the same vehicle. It just has more power. It's quiet. Now, if you're talking about 350 or 250 or something, that's a different story. You can argue that, because towing capacity and things are much higher on those vehicles. I can't wait until there's some electric vehicles that are heavy duty. I think for the $120,000 mark, they should be. Interestingly enough, I think Ford and Rivian have both talked about range extenders that go in the pickup bed like a toolbox before. Rivian actually has a patent on it. I can't wait for Rivian to actually release it, if they're going to release it, and what kind of range it's going to add. Cybertruck has it. It's a $16,000 option. It's going to come out later next year. It takes up a third of the bed in the Cybertruck. But interestingly enough, if you look at the height in the picture of it, it looks like it's about level with where the storage bins go. So you if you put the storage bins on there and the battery on there, you basically get a flat bed back if you wanted to toss sheetrock on there, or plywood, or something flat. And then because the sidewalls are so high, you actually still have like a bed above that extra battery pack. Everybody's wondering, why didn't they put it in the kind of sub trunk that they have back there? Rivian used that space for a spare tire. The spare tire in the Cybertruck is non-existent. If you get one, you just have to throw it in the bed, which takes up a significant portion of the bed. I saw pictures of people kind of leaning it up and strapping it up against one of the bed walls. There's an accessory from Unplugged Performance where you can get these little swing out arms that attach like a Jeep so that you can mount it on the back. The Lightnings have them just mounted underneath the bottom of the vehicle. And it's very interesting. There's like this covering around the tow hitch area that has a lot of empty space in it. People are like, well, why didn't they put the extra battery there? Or why don't they put the spare tire there? It seems like a waste of space, and it's killing the departure angle of the truck because it's got a great approach, but the departure, it could scrape back there. And speaking of the Unplugged Performance and accessories, they got all kinds of stuff in there, including an entire underbody shield similar to what you get with a Rivian. That's an option on a Rivian. Speaking of options on Rivians that aren't on the Cybertruck, the air compressor. I don't know, I got like a $50 air compressor that can air up tires. It's not like a super big deal that they didn't include it in the Cybertruck, but you know, it's kind of a cool feature. When I had the Rivian, it's just always there. You don't have to worry about charging it or anything, and you're going off-roading, you can air down, or if you're stuck in sand, snow, mud, or whatever, you can air down, then air back up real easy. Otherwise, you know, get a $50 one, or you can pay for the Cybertruck one. That's, I think it's $400. It's $50. It's really expensive for an air compressor. What else is the difference between these three vehicles? So just to kind of preference, I've had a Rivian for a year, an R1T, and I sold it and got a Lightning. Not necessarily because I didn't like the Rivian. I actually kind of prefer it to the Lightning in a lot of ways, but just I pre-ordered all of the trucks when they were announced, and the time was up to take the Lightning. So I got the Lightning. It's much bigger than the Rivian. It's even bigger than the Cybertruck. I think it's probably the best work truck, really. The Rivian was more fun to drive. The air suspension and the clearance on the Rivian were a lot better, and so was the speed. The gear tunnel was amazing for being able to store stuff and not have it rattle around and move, and getting into the very back of the bed of the truck. It had no bumper, so getting into the back, towards the back of the truck bed, was harder to do, which is kind of weird. It did have a cool tailgate that had like a gooseneck on it. It extended out to make it much longer with the tailgate down than a normal pickup would extend with the tailgate down, so that was kind of a plus. Cybertruck has four-wheel steering, so you can do much tighter turns, and then it has the steer-by-wire, so you don't have to turn the wheel as much to make turns. And everybody's saying it's like a whole nother driving experience. What it's going to be like is driving an RC car, is what it's going to be like. It's a steer-by-wire. I guess in airplanes have been doing this for like decades, so it should be pretty safe. What do you guys think of steer-by-wire? Does it scare you? What about the repair costs on the extra steering for the rear end? And I don't know. It's a pretty close race if you look at the specs on all the electric vehicles and the pricing. What are you guys going to get? Are you going to wait for your Cybertruck, or are you going to be like, I might as well go get a Lightning? They're on sale down at the Ford dealership right now. They had a rebate the day before the Cybertruck deliveries for $7,500 on the premiums and their Lariats, and then it disappeared on December 1st. It had said it was going to run till the end of the year. But they are doing like insanely low financing on Ford till the end of the year. So it's kind of like one versus the other. Although I think the dollar amount was a better value, especially if you can find a credit union or something. And supposedly, if you go out into the middle of nowhere like where I live, and they actually got a few Lightnings in because they were forced to take them, or at least that's what they told me, you could probably get a really good deal because they're not super happy about having them and they want to just get rid of them. Speaking of getting rid of Lightnings, I'm going to need to get rid of mine if I'm going to take delivery of a Cybertruck. So if you're interested in a long-range Lariat with low miles, I might be able to hook you up. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep it until the Cybertruck comes in. I got a long winter and I actually make pretty good use of the truck here in Wyoming where the weather's not great. I'm in my Model Y right now. Also, if I'm going to get the bigger Cybertruck, I'm probably going to need to also sell this Model Y. So if you're interested in a performance Model Y, I can get you a great deal. It's got full self-driving. Anyways, thank you guys for watching my little 18-minute rant here. Let me know what you guys think. This charger that I'm at now finally hit 42 kilowatts. So this is the first level 3 charging in my town. So it's a big deal. If I ever wanted to leave town, I had to make sure and plan overnight to fully charge. But now that I can charge at double the speed, triple the speed on a Tesla. Oh, that's the other nice thing about the Lightning that the Rivian and the Cybertruck do not have, is the ability to do 80 amp, 22 kilowatt level 2 charging at home. So I have 2 level 2 chargers, Gen 2 Tesla wall connectors that do 80 amps, because my Model S and my Model X's that I had could do that. And it was incredibly helpful. Like I said, there's no fast charging where I lived for hundreds of miles for many years. Now there's one, there's kind of one here in town. Anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It give you some of my insight on driving the electric trucks for the past 2 years, how they compare to the Cybertruck, what's going on in the news with the Cybertruck. Let me know if you like these videos, what more you'd like me to cover. We'll see you guys again next time. Thanks. Oh, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff on X. I am at Walking Crow. I'll be posting this video there as well as YouTube and Facebook. Thanks. Bye.